How do you do, boys and girls and all the ships at sea? Glad to have you with us. Welcome to baseball action as the new Trier Trevians and the Evanston Wildkits try and resolve what was a sloppy first game between these two. Arch rivalry game. Always strange things happen when these two teams meet. And this time we're doing so at Duke Childs Field at New Trier. Actually, we were kind of kind in dishing out the errors yesterday. There's a strike. Alex Vasquez leading it off for the Wildcats. Dylan Hong on the mound. Louis Florida behind the plate. Scooped that and a fly ball. And drops in for the base hit out in center, and a little whoopsie thrown in there. And right off the bat, we got an error. So a single and an error, and Vasquez aboard. And Dylan Elwood, the batter. Ground ball. And Mastros actually picked it up in foul territory along the line, but the ball was fair. And long throw in time for the out. And went away. Here's Joe Liss. Liss with the ground ball. Shortstop goes to third on the fielder's choice and got him. And Vasquez out at third on the fielder's choice. Liss safe aboard at first, 2 out. And Evan Burns the batter. Yeah, straight. Yeah, pitch low ball. Yeah, straight. Well, we got the hawk working today. Wind blowing in off the lake. Not terrible, though. And strike 3, and we're done with the top half of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, no with the left. Go to the bottom half of the first. And no score between New Trier and Evanston. And A.J. Steinbach leads it off. Steinbach, Alex Calarco, and Ryan Kasel. And they changed up a little bit batting order for the Trevians. Fly ball out to left field. And taken for the out. What a wait. Alex Calarco, the batter. And a strike 1. In there for a strike 2. Ryan Kasel on deck. And outside the ball. Now, June 1st, we're actually expanding our network. Almost tripling the size of our cable network. That will be covering our broadcast. Foul ball. We're going from about 20 suburbs. About 25 suburbs. Foul ball. To over 80. Fly ball. And that one down the line, foul and out of play. Well, basically, we used to have a kind of an L shape to our communities we served, and now it's going to be a much broader, practically everybody in northern Cook and northern half of DuPage and northern half of Lake County, or Lake County. Foul ball. Of course, since you're already watching this, it's not going to change you. It's just more people going to be able to see me. Ball 4. And Alex Clarko, or hear me, because I don't I don't believe in putting my face on the air. It's not about me. So Clarko aboard via the walk, work the walk. Foul ball. Ryan Casel, the batter. Now, more people will get to hear me, I guess. And pitch low ball. Trier and Evanston game's always exciting. Weird things happen in these games just because it's the two teams. Ground ball. Third to second on the first in time. Around the horn double play, we're done with the first inning. At the end of one, no score between Evanston and Trier. And we go to the top of the second. And pitcher today, starting pitcher today for the Wildcats, Hank Liss will lead it off. For Evanston, it'll be Liss, Ben Gutowski, and Peter Barbado, rather. I did that again. There's a strike. Peter Barbado. So Liss bats facing Dylan Hong. And a strike on the outside corner. And a pitch high ball. Well, last week I heard from one of my longtime viewers I didn't know about really. Been watching my games since at least 2000 out in Schaumburg. So hello to all of you. Ball outside. And a ground ball. Scooped up, throw to first, in time. And Liss out for out number one, and Ben Gutowski. And takes a ball. Charlie Brodell, Louis Florida, and Andy Picard do up in the bottom half of the frame. And a high pop-up. And shallow center, taken by Steinbeck out there. Pitches high ball. 2 up, 2 down. Peter Barbado, the batter. Hong delivers. That's high ball. And the count calls blackjack, I believe. 21. Yep. And Papa going to give chase, not going to get to it. Foul ball. And the count evens up at deuces. A slow little ground ball. Shortstop again up. Throwing in time. 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left for Evanston. We go to the bottom half of the frame, and 4, 5, and 6 for New Trier due up here. And no score in the ball game between New Trier and Evanston. Charlie Brodell. Swing and a miss. Strike. Again, the curveball. A bit outside, but Brodell went fishing in the Skokie Lagoons for it twice. And a ball. 1 and 2. Outfield playing somewhat shallow. And Brodell with a blast. Left field over the left fielder's head. Back to the fence. And Brodell will go into second with a stand-up double. And Lewis, Florida. So a leadoff double. Florida gets the first pitch up in the eyes for a ball 1. Foul ball. Back to the screen. 1 and 1. We'll be here through most of the spring and summer, though this year I don't think I'm getting broadcast rights for the playoffs. There's some question on that. Line shot. Base hit single. And that's going to score a run. Brodell. And they made the mistake of throwing it home. And Florida goes to second on the throw home. Carabas, the courtesy runner. There's a strike. The bunt attempt by Andy Picard. And the bunt. Foul. Pitch is high, a ball. And strike 3. So, Picard, strikeout victim, and Graham Mastros, the batter. New Trier now leading at 1-0. Wind coming in off the lake. Oh, our wake-up call of the day. Swing and a miss, strike. And strike 3, and Mastros also goes down. 2-away, runners at second still. Foul ball. Brendan Stressler, the batter. Runner with lead, foul ball. Our game a week ago, we really had a windshield whacker. I guess broke a window in a car back in the parking lot here behind us. Strike three, and after giving up a double and a single, Liz strikes out the side at the end of two. It's 1-0. New Trier leading Evanston. Connor Groff will lead it off for the Evanston Wildkits. We're here at New Trier, Wilbur Duke Childs Field. Duke Childs, the first athletic director at New Trier. He basically established, well, I guess really the way to describe it is he established interscholastic athletics at New Trier. Well, I mean, yeah, they had kind of a pickup version of baseball games before that. But among other things, he was the one that helped to establish interscholastic swimming, the first swimming meet between two high schools was New Trier and Evanston back in 1913. Strike three. Groff is out. And New Trier was also the first high school in the country to have their own swimming pool in the high school. And that was all Wilbur Duke Childs. And a base hit right back up the middle. Draw to first, runner back. And out to second. Oh, a little bobble over there. And that'll allow the runner to go to third. That's the second error of the ball game for the Trevians. Runners at the corners. And Brendan Brakowski, the batter. I take that back. I am wrong on that. I'm way off here. Dylan Elwood, the batter. There goes the runner. Stolen base, shouldn't have thrown it. And the double steal works. So Brakowski home, and Alex Vasquez, who got that single. I'm looking in the wrong place on my scorecard. Elwood continues to bat, runner at second, and we're tied up at 1. And foul ball. Windshield whacker into the parking lot. Or maybe gets a car driving by on Willow Road. or for those of you in our northwest suburbs that watch our games, Palatine Road, the same east-west pavement, different names to it. Dylan Hong delivers and the pitch high ball. And low and outside a ball. Running with the lead. And strike three on the inside corner, and didn't like it. Inside ball that made a luscious movement back to the inner part of the plate. Got him back and away. Here's Ali Barco leading it off. And takes a strike one. Foul ball. We've got viewers on our internet affiliate. I know I got one in North Carolina. Ground ball. Two in North Carolina, actually. Throw it away. And Barkle aboard. And actually, he'll get second base on the errant throw. But you count that only as a single error. And back to the top of the batting order. A.J. Steinbach. One of them is the voice of the Charlotte Thunder, or Carolina Thunder, I think. And a beautiful bunt single by A.J. Steinbach. Wow. Great bunt. Perfectly placed. And runners at the corners with nobody out. Alex Clarko, the batter. Yeah, strike one. I take that back. I actually have three from North Carolina that watch our games. And the ball in the dirt. AJ will stay at first. I can understand not sending Barkle from third. And a ball. Got away. That's nice to know Evanston can have that same problem that New Trier had yesterday. And now they're going to intentionally walk Clarko. And Ryan Casel, the batter. Time called. Now the lock and the load. In there for strike. I've been doing this too long. Be sitting here watching a game and going back through my mind, remembering Wilbur Duke Childs and straight Murray Lazare at Evanston. Some of the other classics of the coaching staffs at the high schools foul ball. I now understand how Jack Brickhouse and Harry Carey, why they did what they did as they got older in their, longer in the tooth in their careers. Well, that was a great play, but I remember back in 1752 when Charlie French did it, Never understood that. Now I do. So we're going to be strike three, and Casel's out. Charlie Brodell, the batter. I am outside the ball as starting my 5th decade working in high school sports. And that's outside the ball. And well outside the ball. And the ball gets away. It doesn't matter. Ball 4. And the bases are loaded. And Lewis, Florida, the batter. Nowhere to put anybody. Trev's on every base. And the look and the delivery. It's high ball. So Lewis, Florida bats. And strike out the inside corner. And another one low ball. Trevians have already retaken the lead here, 2-1. Bottom of the 3rd inning. And high and outside the ball. Trevians threatening. 1 out. Here's a swing and a miss straight. But the Trevians this year have had trouble bringing runners around. So going to be a strike 3, 2 away. Andy Picard, the batter. Low and outside the ball. Here's a strike on the outside corner. Little ground ball. Second to first. And the Trevians only come up with a single run on that. Sent 7 men to the plate and just 1 run. At the end of 3, it's 2-1. New Trier leading Evanston. Evan Burns leads off the top of the 4th inning. Foul ball off to the right. I was thinking about it during the break here. If I hear the song Thunderstruck one more time, I think I'm going to take a bazooka to the sound system. I do on an average, I work on an average about 200 some odd games a year. And I have heard that song at every single one of those games for the last 25 years. I'm not making a value judgment on the song or whether I like it or I don't like it. It's just I'm so tired of hearing that same song. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, went fishing. And the Skokie Lagoons on that one. 1 away. Here's Hank Liss. And he takes the first offering from Hong well outside for a ball. And a high fly ball. Center fielder Steinbeck has it for the out. 2 up, 2 down. And Ben Gutowski, the batter. And he's got himself a base hit to right. And Peter Barbado, the batter. There's a strike. And a little outside, a ball. Looks like maybe we even have a little bit of fog rolling in off the lake. We're maybe 3/4 of a mile, maybe a mile away from the lake. Ball gets away, stolen base. Though for Gutowski. And outside the ball. And the ball gets away again. Wild pitch, well outside. And ball 4. So runners at the corners with 2 out. And Connor Groff, the batter. Groff had a pretty good day yesterday, but has got a little trouble today. Little foul tip, strike. Got a little piece of it. Low and outside, a ball. I mentioned it earlier in the game. New Trier was the first high school in the United States to have its own swimming pool in the building. And ground ball. Third baseman. Well, I'll finish my thought. Over to first in time. And we're done with the top half of the fourth. No runs. One hit, one walk, two left. Go to the bottom of the fourth. And Graham Mastros will lead it off. The swimming pool that first went into New Trier. For those of you who have seen It's a Wonderful Life and the swimming pool opens up, there's a switch, when suddenly it opens up. That's how the swimming pool was at New Trier. Line shot, base hit, single for Mastros. I even know where it was in the school, but it's long gone now. Outside the ball. Brendan Stressler, the batter. For us oldsters, it was in the place that was called the IM, the Intramurals Gym. Or basically where, for those youngsters, where G110 now is. Swing and a miss, strike. High and outside the ball. And ball four. So 2 on. And Ollie Barkle, the batter. He was safe on a throwing error last inning. Goes to bunt. Throw out to second. Whoa! Thrown away. And Mastros home to score. Back to the top of the batting order, and A.J. Steinbach. A.J. with a beautiful single. Bunt single is first time up. Shows bunt again here this time. Pulls it back. Takes a strike on the inside corner. Strike one. And does it again. A beautiful bunt. No, they're not going to get him. Beats it out. Bunt single. Alex Calarco, the batter. And in there for straight. So the bases are loaded for the Trevians. Swing and a miss. Big cut. And pass the third baseman. That's a hit. That's going to score 2. Here comes the throw home, but it's way wide. And Stressler and Barkle home to score on the single by Calarco. And 3 runs in here Here's Ryan Casel. And suddenly the Trevians have sort of found their bats. Two on, still nobody out. Inside the ball. Six-man to bat in the inning. I said bases loaded. I'm incorrect. First and second. Inside the ball. Yeah, strike up at the letters. Base hit off the first baseman. Nice job knocking it down, but now he's going to compound it by throwing it into the dugout. I think they're going to send everybody back. I think Calarco will have to go back, and so will Casel. Yeah. But it's still an error. Brodell. Balls went off. Oh, I take that back. They allowed Calarco to score. Casel's the one that's got to stay at second. Swing and a miss. Strike. To Charlie Brodell. Swing and a miss. Strike three, Brodell. Out, and Lewis Florida, the batter. He sends a fly ball out center field way. Take it in left center. Runner holds. And Gray Mestros, the batter. Five runs in the inning. Low and outside the ball. Yeah, strike. To Andy Picard. Ninth man to bat in the inning. Runner advances up. Foul ball. .55-footer. New pitcher on the mound. I thought that wasn't the same. Owen Brooks. Now on the mound for the Wildkits. And ball gets away, and Casel home to score. Second run in this inning, I think, that's come in that way. Here's Graham Mastros. Outside the ball. Number 10. To bat in the inning. He singled his first time up in the inning. Scored the first run. And the look over by Brooks. So the Trevians have busted this one open. A 6-run outburst here. And leading it 8-1. Outside the ball. That's why it's high school baseball. One day you do it, the other day the other team does it. There's a strike. And a line shot. That's past the right fielder back to the fence, and actually, I think it snuck under the fence. There's a little gap in some places along that bottom of that fence. And a line shot by Stressler, base hit. And Mastros home to score. And that's 8 runs in here in the inning. 2 out. Ollie Barkle, the batter. He's been on base thanks to 2 gifts by the Wildkits. Takes a pitch low ball. And a pitch low and inside the ball. I think the most remarkable teams were the 1999-2000 teams with the Trevians. Those 2 years, they finished second in state in 99 and then won state in 2000. So it was 8 games in the playoffs, and New Trier went 15 of 16. That 2000 senior group, foul ball. And nice try, but falls foul. That senior group had 5 players that played a professional sport somewhere. Outside the ball. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And the inning comes to an end, but the Trevians score 8 runs on 6 hits. 2 errors. And 1 left. Go to the top of the 5th inning. And the Trevians leading this one 10-2. Swing and a miss, strike. Brandon Brokowski. There's a strike. And not 55-footer, but bounces in outside. Line shot. Oh, my. Got hung. Off the mound. Throws. Got him. And got him. I'm not sure if that was on the foot or on the ankle. But believe it or not, he's okay. He's still going to stay in there and pitch. Wow. There's a strike. Alex Vasquez, top of the batting order. On the competitor. Stays with it. Outside the ball. Line shot back up the middle. Base hit single. And that reminded me of the Zach Martin hit in the face by a pitch by the Evanston pitcher. 2003 was that? They literally had to call the ambulance and take him right off the field. Had to open the gate and bring the ambulance right on the field for that one. There's a strike. Zach Martin, the new Trier player, was all right, but the Evanston pitcher, and I only remember his last name was Hip, and he was so shaken up, I don't think he really ever recovered. There's his strike, caught him looking, strike three. So 2 out with the man on, and Joe List, the batter. Pitch high ball. Ground ball right down the line. That's a fair ball. Past Mastros. And over to third goes Vasquez and Liss into second. And they're going to have a pinch runner for him over there. Fred Eberhardt. Pitch low and outside the ball. And a ball. Pitcher's high ball. So Hong showing no ill effects of getting hit by a line drive. Strike. Runners at second and third. Evan Burns the batter. There's a strike. The long look at third. Fly ball. It's going to be a gapper out there. And Zach's now playing center. Throws it back in, but not before the double. A.J. Steinbach's moved over to third. To right. Fly ball. Backing up and taken by Barkle out on the warning track for the out. 2 runs on 3 hits. We go to the bottom half of the 5th. And leading it off is A.J. Steinbach. AJ 2 for 3. And both of them have been perfectly placed bunt singles. He's been doing very well sending line drives. He had a bunch of doubles of late. Foul ball. Finding the gap. Line shot. Oh, nice catch. The second baseman solidly hit, but sort of right at the second baseman. Here's a strike. Here's Alex Calarco. Been on base all 3 times. A walk, and it turned out to be an intentional walk. They started by pitching to him and then gave him the pass. And a single last inning. That scored a run. Inside out at it, single. Opposite field. And here's James Carabas batting for Casel. Ball gets away, but Calarco's not going. So Carabas, and Carabas will probably come in and play second base now. Fisted and fouled away. Windshield whacker back behind us. You know, it's funny, all the years that I've been coming here doing baseball games, my car has only been hit 2 or 3 times. But considering I'm parking in the same spot, right behind the field, here's a blast. They were playing shallow, and then that turns out to be a gapper back to the warning track. And Carabas will go into second with a double. So, 2 on, 1 out. Brodell, a little pop-up foul and out of room. And that was a windshield whacker off there to the right. Pitch inside the ball. And a high pop-up on the infield. And second baseman will take it for the out. Two down. Lewis Florida, the batter. Takes a pitch inside the ball. Another new pitcher on the mound for Evanston, by the way. Danny Sheik. I haven't been keeping as close a tab on pitchers as I should, and I'm sorry about that. Swing and a miss, strike. I think it's the third pitcher of the ball game for Evanston. Dylan Hong's gone the distance for New Trier, so that's easy enough. Line shot, that's a base hit through the 5-hole, or actually the 3-hole. And the single brings home a run. Or was that two? Pitches high ball. Andy Picar, the batter. And fouled off. It was two. So it's 12-3. Bottom of the fifth inning. A lot of action in this one. Evanston still playing relatively shallow in the outfield, swinging to be a strike. I think the thought here is bees in the bat day. What with that wind blowing in to the batter's face and the temperatures in the upper 40s range inside a ball. Now the delivery and a ground ball. Still a little roller. Shortstop on the infield grass has it over to first in time. But the Trevians come up with two more runs in the inning on 3 hits and a man left. We go to the 6th inning of play. And New Trier leading at 12-3. You know, it's always the way. When it's 95 degrees out, you know, it's just or whatever, it's, you know, just a beautiful day. You get a slaughter rule game, and you just don't have a lot of time on the baseball field, you know, out to enjoy the weather. Fly ball, taken by the left fielder for the out. One away. Katkowski out. Jacob Lipman, the batter. Get a day like this, where it's cold and, you know, a biting wind, in a sense. You know, a moist wind. And you get to 1 run shy, and it's a torture to get to that slaughter rule. Hahn delivers. No. And he didn't go. Had some movement to it, but moved away. So Lipman bats. A batting for Barbado. 1 out. Top of the 6th inning. Ground ball. Mastros has it. Long throw. In time, Picar. He has it for the out. 5-3 on the putout. 1 bouncer. Calarco to Picar. And a quick 1-2-3 inning at the top of the 6th for the Wildkits. Hong has gone the distance. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. And leading it off is P.J. Nilk. And he fouls one off. And a pitch low ball. And yet another new pitcher for Evanston. Izzy Flood. And Flood delivers inside a ball. And the pitch, well outside the ball. In there for strike. And they lock and load, ball 4. And Nilt laid out the bottom of the 6th with a walk. Here's Sam Zacks batting. He's batting for Stressler. And a ball. Tom called a quick word out there between Brokowski and Flood. And foul ball. Off to the right. Actually, it's kind of behind the dugout here at Evanston. And nice catch by a fan in the middle of the parking lot. And he gets hit by the pitch. So Zach's aboard. So 2 on. And Sam Harvey, the batter. Strike. Trevians have been issued 6 walks in this ball game. And only 2 have come home to score that I see. Swinging a bit straight. Of course, one of them is still out there, so he could yet come home. And I wish he would, because that would end the ball game. Inside the ball. I mean, from a Frozen fan perspective. Out of pitch. Ground ball. Third baseman has a long throw in time. Got him on the tag. Nilk ran in front of him. I thought that I was going to tag him. Infield pulls in. A.J. Steinbach, the batter. A.J. betting 500 on the day. Swing and a miss. Strike. Yeah, strike. And strike 3. Got him looking on the inside corner. Here's Alex Calarco. Officially 2 for 2. But been on base all 4 times he's been at the plate. Strike. 2 out, 2 odd. Trevians well in command of this one. And strike. And strike three. And that takes care of that. So we go to the seventh. Hi-ho, to the seventh inning we go. Grayson Charlton, pinch batting, hits a single to lead things off on the first pitch. He was batting from Brendan Brokowski, the catcher. So runner aboard at first. And Arthur Harvey batting. Batting for Alex Vasquez. Dylan Hong has gone the distance, but he's got to be close to the maximum pitch count allowed. And even if he isn't, it's kind of getting to the point where, you know, do you really want him to go the distance? There's a strike. Runner to lead off first. And a foul ball. And ball four. So 2 out with nobody out. And Dylan Elwood, the batter. And a line shot. That's a base hit, but they'll hold the runner at third, and the bases are loaded for the Wildkits. And another pinch batter, Fred Eberhardt. He's been a courtesy runner, so he's been in the game already today. There's a strike. Our courtesy runner and a pinch runner, actually. Jackson Rover. Now on the mound for the Trevians. It's too bad that I think he's still on the mound. No. No, I guess Dylan Hong's still out there. And strike three. Now Jackson Rover. I think Hong just ran out of number of pitches he could throw. There's a pitch low ball. Evan Burns, the batter. Cleanup batter for the Wildkits. In their lineup. Pitch high and outside the ball. Dylan Hong, not only did he pitch well of the game, but showed some fortitude after getting a line drive right off his ankle or his foot, stayed in the ball game, and that was way back in the 5th inning. So he stayed for another another 3 innings, 2 innings, 1, 2, yeah, 3 innings. Because he stayed basically all through the 5th, 6th, and most of the seventh here, 2 out in the seventh, so 2 2/3 after getting seriously hurt or seriously hit. I guess he wasn't hurt all that much. Looked like he did favor a little bit. Strike 3. And Evan Burns thought that was outside for a ball. And went all the way 3/4 of the way to first base before everyone said, no. No, that was a real fool 'em. And a ground ball. This should do it. Galarco over to first in time, and the ball game is all over. And the Trevians come back from a really kind of messy game yesterday. Come back and win this one. And the final word for the new Trier Trevians. 12 runs on 12 hits, 2 errors. They were struck out 7 times, walked 6 times, 6 left on base. And for the Evanston Wildkits, 3 runs on 9 hits, 3 errors. They were struck out 7 times, walked 2 was all that Dylan Hong did, and the Wildcats left 7 on base with 3 stolen bases. Well, kind of a sloppy game, not as bad as yesterday, but nearly. But the big news, of course, is combination of the hitting coming alive a little bit for the Trevians with 12 hits, and the great pitching by Dylan Hong. And the new Trier Trevians win this one 12-3. Our next game is scheduled against Glenbrook North on the network, and then a doubleheader with Highland Park. This is Mark Braun. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Stick around for more sports action on the network, and we say as always, thanks for watching, and so long, everybody.